Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to be giving a review for the graphic novel collection. Well, it collects, it's not really a graphic novel, it just basically collects like certain issues of like particular like comic books, whatever. So I just kind of consider like, you still consider these like graphic novels, but this right here is going to be my review for Robin Volume 1 Reborn, because I know there are like other volumes to this too as well. I think it goes to like Volume 3 or more, because you can see like the Robin that is on this particular one is the Tim Drake Robin, who is my second favorite Robin too, by the way. After Dick Grayson, Tim Drake is my second favorite Robin. Well, this particular collection, it collects Batman issues 455 through 457. Then you have Detective Comics 618 through 621. Now in those particular like comics, Batman kind of plays like a major part because there are still basically his storyline basically, but like Tim Drake is involved in it with becoming Robin for the first time. But then it collects issues of Robin 1 through 5 too as well, which is basically like Robin's like solo series. And I'm not mistaken, I think that was like the first like solo Robin series that they did in comics back then, because like these started like in I think these like were created like in the year 1990 and 1991. So basically, it's basically like a collection of the stories detailing like when Tim Drake actually took on like the Robin mantle after Jason Todd, because you know what happened to Jason Todd, who was the second Robin, but Tim Drake became the third Robin eventually. So it starts like with him detailing like him training to become like the new Robin, and so on and everything like that. And then you get to see like his parents, who are taken like a hostage, like in the Caribbean, by this guy known as the Obeah Man. Basically, like this situation happens with like Tim's parents being kidnapped, and then his mother ends up being killed in the process, while she's been captured by the Obeah Man. But Tim Drake's father survives, because I didn't really know too much about their backstory. I knew like his father, I know he was like in the one of those other like books I read, and his father was like in a wheelchair because he gets like I think like paralyzed like from the waist down, I think, or something like that. So basically, it begins like with him losing like a parent, very similar to like Bruce Wayne, and like Dick Grayson as well. And then after that, like at the same time, like Tim Drake himself, he is trying to pursue like this criminal who is hacking bank accounts. And I think the criminal was known, he was known as the Money Spider. So that's basically what he was doing. Like first falls, like the first, like as the story begins, he's after this hacker known as the Money Spider, who is like hacking like billions of money with millions of dollars from like people's bank accounts. Because at one point I think he even targets like Bruce Wayne's account. So that's basically like the stuff that Tim is like doing while he's like training to become like this new Robin. And at the same time you have like this axe killer who shows up in Gotham City, but then it turns out that there's more than one axe killer. There's like a bunch of people like turning up with like these masks on their face, and they're either swinging like axes or they're swinging like sledgehammers. So you can tell basically that they're under control by some kind of like substance, something that's controlling them. And of course, I'm not going to spoil who that turns. It turns out to be like a major like villain of Batman who is controlling you. So eventually, like Tim Drake finds out who it is, and he decides to help Batman and so on. But eventually, like that's what goes on, like through like the whole like halfway through the book itself. Like he's not even a Robin really in it. You just see really Tim Drake himself, and he's like still questioning like the idea of taking on the mantle of becoming Robin. Because you see what happened to Jason Todd. And even Bruce is still kind of against it to a certain extent, but he does let him eventually take on the mantle. So he doesn't really become like Robin, like what dons the suit until like halfway through like the story itself. And that picks up like I guess you could say from like the issues of like Robin 1 through like Robin 5. They take up like the next half bulk of the collection of the book itself. So that's when he actually becomes Robin. But once he gets there, that deals with like Tim traveling to Paris to like take on another form of fighting. Like a secret form of fighting. But then he comes across like this secret like agent. And it's kind of odd how he meets this secret agent who is African American, by the way, which I thought was kind of cool and interesting. And his name is Clyde Owens. Turns out Clyde Owens is about to get beat down by this group of gang. I forget what their name is called. Who are led by the King Snake. And King Snake is the guy that Clyde Owens is after because his wife and his two baby girls were like supposedly murdered by King Snake. So that's what like the next half of the story is about, like Robin, well, Tim and Drake teaming up with Clyde Owens, to take out the King Snake guy, And King Snake himself is like he's like a heroin like drug dealer, like supposed to be like and supposed to be like the most dangerous man in the world according to like Lady Shiva, who also turns up into the story as well too, because like she eventually like trains Tim and Drake a little more better, like actually with how to use weapons, and I think that's where he gets like his stick for the first time. Cause I think he's the Robin who has a stick. Cause I'm not sure if Dick Grayson really had. 'Cause I know he has like the two sticks. As Nightwing. But I think Tim Drake was actually like the first Robin, if I'm not mistaken, who actually had like a stick. So he kind of started using the stick with like when he was being trained by Shiva. So I thought that was kind of cool because she joins Clyde Owens and like Robin, with Tim and Drake, they join forces together to take out King Snake, and she has like a personal vendetta herself against King Snake, Lady Shiva. Now, one of the things, so eventually that's what it's basically like the first half of the collection of stories, like they deal with like Tim and Drake, like his parents, like when his mother ends up getting killed, these axe killers and like sledgehammer killers, like with masks on their face, they show up being controlled by a substance in Gotham City. But then like halfway after that, Tim Drake, he gets the Robin costume, but he travels to Paris to learn like a new form of fighting. But he comes across this former DI agent who is undercover, known as Clyde Owens, an African American. They join up together with Lady Shiva to take out this like heroin drug dealer known as King Snake, who is responsible for killing Clyde Owens wife and two baby girls, and plus there's something with him like King Snake and Lady Shiva too, because she also has like a personal vendetta against him too as well. So yeah, that's what basically it's about, now to be honest with you, I thought this was a very entertaining like collection of Robin stories, and I always was interested in reading them, because it was detailing, like my second favorite Robin, Tim and Drake. So I was always interested and like curious about reading, But I thought it turned out to be pretty good, like you have like various like Batman villains who pop up in it too as well. Say like Anarchy, and like other major villains too. Like one of my favorite villains too as well, But I kind of like Anarchy too as well. Then you have Vicky Vale. She shows up in it too as well to a certain extent. She has like kind of a major part. She's around like the part of like the axe killers and stuff who are under control, like under control by some kind of like substance, But I don't want to spoil who that turns out to be, But other than that, though, I thought this was a pretty good, interesting like back, and it was good getting a good look at Tim and Drake, Now, like these were the things I want to touch on too as well, Like the first like bulk of like the stories, like the first half of the book, which I noticed too, for instance, like from like Batman issue 455 to 457 and Detective Comics 618 to 621. Now those were basically where the story was like real good. I really enjoyed it a lot. But once it got to like the actual like Robin solo series, the story it was still interesting and cool. The story kind of drifted off. But the artwork was just like superb compared to like the artwork that was in like the Batman issues and Detective Comic issues, where the story was good, like the first half of the book, and the artwork was there. It was kind of like, I want to criticize like the artists and stuff like that, but I thought it was kind of like bad compared to like the artwork in the Robin solo series, like the solo issues, like the artwork and that was just like beautiful. Like the way Tim and Drake look and stuff, I thought it was like just cool looking, like his artwork, how they design them and stuff, like the suits, like the artwork, like see like the various like locales, like backgrounds and all that, just was like superb the way they did that. I know it was also like that in like the Nightfall like storyline, some like the Robin issues they had collected in that particular series had like beautiful like artwork, So I thought that was like a good thing about it too. But once it got to that part, like it had like the last half of the book had good artwork, but the story itself was kind of like, it wasn't too great, but it was still cool and decent, Like another bonus about the book too, you get to see like the various designs they have for Tim and Drake when he became Robin, towards like the back of the book, they show like the various designs that they use, because one of them even resembles like his Red Robin persona that he eventually becomes like later on, like Red Robin, But yeah, in the end, I thought Robin Volume 1 Reborn, I thought this was a good collection of like Robin stories, based on the Tim and Drake Robin, like I said, who is my second favorite Robin, I thought this was a good collection of like stories, So in the end, I'd be giving this like a B+, and I would highly recommend it for like fans of like Robin, or should like Tim and Drake, and in general, I would highly recommend it for them, So yeah, I'd be giving this a B+, and this is my review for Robin Reborn. Well, Robin Volume 1 Reborn. All right. Okay, this is my Robin book, as you can see right here, and it's called it's kind of tricky the name for, but it's called Robin Volume One Reborn, and it collects like issues of Batman 455 to 457, and then you have Detective Comics 618 to 621. Now those are where the story was like real good, you know, maybe because it featured Batman, I'm not sure, but like the artwork wasn't really too hot, you know. I don't want to criticize like the artists, you know, which I be careful about about that, you know. And but then once you get like halfway, now this is when Tim actually dons like the Robin suit, and he's my second favorite Robin, you know, like I always said before, you know, after Dick Grayson. But when he dons like the Robin suit for like the actual Robin solo series, like which was like issues 1 through 5, which is like 5 issues, and they are like the other half of the book. That's when the story doesn't, and it'll still be cool and interesting, you know, 'cause I like the chemistry that he had with like the Clive Owens, the African American like DA agent. I liked the chemistry that they had, you know. I thought that was interesting, you know. But like the story that was kind of wasn't too great, but it was decent, you know. But like the artwork was just like superb, you know. Like the artists, like the artwork they did, it kind of reminded me like the artwork that was kind of like in the Nightfall like series, which had like certain like Robin issues in it, you know. Like in the Robin issues, like the artwork was just like beautiful, like the look of Tim Drake, you know. I thought it was just like it just looked so cool, you know. Like the artwork itself, like you know, like the locales and all that, where everything was just like beautiful, you know. But yeah, this is the book itself, and you can see it has like Tim Drake on the cover as Robin, and of course you see like Batman on the back, you know, and also have an image of Robin on the back too as well, you know, and King Snake. Well, I ain't want to spoil you, but it's King Snake's like hands right there reaching out. So yeah, this is just basically my book I'm showing, you know, of a collection. So yeah, I'll probably do more of these eventually, you know, 'cause I know it goes to at least volume 3, but I think it may be like a volume 4 or whatever. But eventually I probably will, but probably not right away. I'll probably like go back into like other like Batman, you know, because I'm really enjoying these, you know. So, but look for me to probably eventually do, you know, like volume 2 of this, you know. Okay, so this is my book, Robin Volume 1 Reborn. Alright. Now the writers, you know, I didn't really want to touch on them too much, you know, but I do recognize like Chuck Dixon and Alan Grant. They were like the writers of this tale, you know. Then you have like the artwork, which was done by, you know, it's like various different people, you know. I didn't want to really touch on them too much, you know, but I know I'm very, like, you know, like the cutters was Adrian Roy. I'm kind of familiar with her too, you know.